Well, hi kids, Pastor Al here. Hey, I hope you had a really wonderful Christmas. I bet a lot of you liked having snow on Christmas. I know that all the other stuff's fun too, but I bet a lot of you are waiting for some snow to play in. And you know, it's fun to play in the snow and play with your dog. Well, sometimes it is. Not so much with this dog.
Okay, you let the dog go. Stupid dog.
Well, actually, you know, most dogs are a little more trustworthy than that one. When I was growing up, I had a pure black German Shepherd in our house, and her name was Rhea. Now, I grew up in a very rough part of Los Angeles, and there were gangs in the area, and Rhea was very, very, very protective of us. And if you know anything about German Shepherds, they love their family. It's why they're called a shepherd. And they are very good at protecting their family, and they're very unhappy when people threaten them. And there were at least a couple times that I got chased home by a gang of kids. And the only way that I kind of survived that without getting a beating was I got to my back chain link gate. And as they followed me, Rhea would be at that gate barking and snarling like she was going to kill them by ripping them from limb to limb, which she probably would have done if she thought they were going to hurt me and she could get at them. So it was nice to know that even a very tough world that I lived in, that all I had to do was get home. And there was that one very powerful, loving animal that would do everything in her power to protect me as kind of one of her kids. Some years later, not too long ago, I had another dog that was a whole lot more gentle, but was kind of the same way. It was my blonde Labrador named Elijah. We called him Eli. It's an Old Testament name. And he was this kind of big, gentle giant. When he was full grown, he weighed about 100 pounds, and it was 100 pounds of pure muscle. But he was a very laid-back dog, and he was generally got along with all our other dogs great. But he really loved me. And we used to play this game that if I would call him and we would put something to make it hard for him to get to me, we would see how long it took him to get to me. And one of the ways it developed was that we'd get him up on a bed, and one or two of my daughters would literally lay on top of him to hold him down. I would go out in the hallway and call him, and they would try to hold him down. And he would then immediately struggle, wouldn't hurt, wouldn't bite, because he loved them too. But sometimes he would literally stand up with them on her back and then scoot out from under them to come to me. Now, it was a fun game, but it was always nice for me to know that wherever I was, if I ever got in any trouble, as long as he could hear me and as long as he could get to me, he would come for me because he loved me that much. He wasn't a perfect dog, but that was pretty cool. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, I'm still thinking a little bit about Christmas, and not just about the Christmas gifts and trees and dinners and family, but about why. Why Christmas? And the real reason was why Christmas. There was someone who loved us so very much that when they knew we were in trouble, they had to come. And that was God. God knew that we, sometimes make a mess out of our lives and that we need help to get out of it. And the best way that God knew that he could help us was not just to send us advice or hope that we, get out of it on our own, but to come himself. And the way that he did that was to come in the form of a child, our Lord Jesus Christ, who, while at the same time he was a perfectly human little baby, he was also God. It's pretty hard to understand. We can't understand that perfectly, but we know it's true. So in my life, when I know that I'm in trouble or when I'm having a hard time or I'm struggling with something or there are things I can't understand, there is one thing I do understand that helps me deal with all of that. And that's that I know that the very God of all creation, who made every atom, every molecule, every tree, every planet that spins in the cosmos, who made all of those things, loved me enough to come for me at Christmas. That he would be here to love me, to teach me, ultimately to save me by dying on the cross. Makes everything else seem a little bit small by comparison. I can handle anything because there's a God that loves me And when I was in trouble, he came for me. And he lived for me and he died for me. And he lives now both in heaven and in my heart. And that's the real wonder about Christmas. It wasn't just a day to have fun or be excited or hear about angels coming and being excited. It was a day that showed us that God loved us so much that he would always come when we needed him. That's what Christmas is all about. And I hope you learned a little bit about that in these past weeks. Have a good time. Enjoy playing in the snow. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.